Hello, welcome to yet another game development with Pygame video tutorial. This is our fourth video, and today we will talk about frames per second, and we will learn how we can create an infinite road that gives the illusion of movement to our game. The game loop function that we have already created in previous videos runs as fast as possibly our computer can run it. This means that images that are drawn to our window are drawn with a fast rate that depends on the performance of our computer. If I run the same game loop in my computer and if I run it in another computer later, it will run with different pace, different speed. This is something that we don't want. In order to change that, we need to use a method that will create a stable frame rate for our game loop. First, we will create a variable that we will be called FPS, frames per second, and I will set it to 30. Then we will need to write a new variable that we will call clock, and this is an object will be created with the use of the function Pygame time clock, which returns an object clock, a clock object, and this clock object now can use the method tick. So we will write clock tick, and inside you give an integer as an argument. We will give FPS. So now what we did is we with this method, with this instruction, we're saying to our computer to run this game loop 30 times each second. So every 1 second 30 different images will be drawn to our window. Now our video game will have a stable behavior independent of which computer we use. So if I run it now, you can see that now it's much more slow than it was before. This has to do with the fact that before was drawing as fast as it possibly could. Now it's not. So now in order to make the movement a little faster, I will change the step variable, the step constant that we had created in the previous video. And now if I run it again, we can see that the movement is faster, looks smooth. So we can continue with the rest of our today's video. So now what we want to do is create a road, draw a road to our window that will be basically our background where the car will move. The first thing that we have to do is bleed an image the same way that we bleeded the car image with this instruction. We will create a new image object with the method image load. In our folder I have put this road.png image, and I will load it inside my program using an instruction road equals pygame image load png. I will leave a link down in the description where you can download the exact same image that I have created and will be our background. So now what we have to do is, before bleeding our car, we have to bleed the road object, and the position, the coordinates of this image will be 0.0 because we want the top left corner of our image to be the top left corner of our window. So if I go now again and I run it, you can see that the car is on a road. The main problem now is that this road seems not moving at all. The car can be moving right or left, but the car on the road doesn't seem to move towards any direction. In order to achieve this, I will start drawing some rectangles on the road. We already saw how you can draw a rectangle. It's this line of code that I commented in the previous video. Pygame draw rect. The first argument has to be the window. The second is the color. I will use black. And the third argument is a list of 4 integers. The 2 first integers will be the coordinates of the top left corner of your rectangle, and the last 2 will be the size, the width and the height of your rectangle. I will create 2 new variables that I will call rect x and rect y, and rect x will be window width second divided by 2, and rect y will be 0. And now I will draw those rectangles here on the coordinates rect x and rect y. And the dimensions, for the dimensions I will create 2 new constants that I will call rect width and I will set it to window width divided by 32 and rect height I will set it to window height divided by 16. And now I will go to this line of code and write rect width and rect height. So now I will draw top of my window with these dimensions. If I run it now, you can see this rectangle. It's right here, and I want to continue to draw even more rectangles in this screen. In order to do this, I will write a for loop for I in range 0 to 8. I want them on the y-axis to be on the same x-axis, but I want the y coordinate to differ from rectangle to rectangle. So I will create a new constant that I will call y difference, and I will set it to window height divided by 8. And I will go here, and on the y coordinate of my rectangles I will write rect y plus I multiplied by y difference, y diff. So now if I run again the program, you can see there is a problem. My car is underneath the lines. This has to do with the order of the instructions. I have to bleed the car after this for loop. So now it will seem better. So now I have my road, but still it's not moving. How I can make this road moving? Since all of my rectangles have the y coordinate based on the first rectangle, if I move the first rectangle, every rectangle will move. So what I will do is I will go here and I will say that rect y plus equals step. This means that each frame rect y will change by step. Now if I run it, it will seem like there is movement, but the rectangles disappear. So what I have to do to stop this is I will say that if the rectangle, basically rect y, is bigger than the y difference, you have to set it again to rect y. This can be simplified by saying rect y equals rect y modulus step, modulus y diff, not step. So now there seems to be movement. There is a small problem here in the start of my screen. It seems like always there is one rectangle missing, so for this reason I will change the range of this for loop to -1 towards 8. So the first rectangle, when rect y is 0, the first rectangle is not visible, but then it starts appearing to our screen. So now if I run it, will be perfect. Okay, so we created our road. We have this illusion that we wanted to have, the illusion of constant movement. And with this we will conclude our today's video. See you next time. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.